A few years ago, all our lives changed drastically. And you know what I'm referring to. It was global. And many of our loved ones passed away, whether it was family or friends. And it was such a traumatic time because we also had to now think, are we next? Is this going to happen to us? And before, you think, oh, I think I'm going to die when I'm older, in my 70s or 80s. But this changed the way that we viewed death, that death could happen really at any time. And even saying that makes me feel a bit scared, a bit nervous, because we don't often talk about death. Bronnie Ware was a palliative nurse, and she wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. The first regret was that I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Now, that is a huge thing to think about. How often do we actually live a life that we don't actually want for ourselves, but we think it's the best thing to do based on other people's opinions of what life should be like? Maybe you don't actually want to study engineering, you'd rather study to become a teacher, but your family may think, oh, you should study engineering because you'd make more money. Maybe you'd actually like to live close to the beach instead of a busy city, but you think, well, I want to have a job that pays really well so I can go and retire and live at the beach at an older age. I'll put off that dream for now. So many times we don't really listen to ourselves, and we are guided by other people's lives and other people's opinions. When we think of living a life for ourselves and not a life that others expected of me, you can see that many people have pressure from family members or society itself, or even pressure from ourselves to think that the way we want our lives, it may not be the norm, and we may think, I don't want to step out of the norm. I don't want to be somebody who doesn't fit in. Maybe you want to be an actress or an actor, and you think, oh, but society says that it's always the starving artist. I'm not going to go down that road. Yes, I'm really passionate about it, but I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to go for something that is reliable and solid. And then you live a life of wondering, what if? How would you know if it could have worked out? And even if it didn't, at least you would have tried. So don't live a life based on other people's expectations. Be true to who you are and what you want. The second regret was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And yes, in life we do have to work. Many of us are unfortunately working even 7 days a week at times, or even late into the evening. But I think this regret is because people felt I should have actually used that time to spend with my loved ones, some of that time, to do the things that we love as a family, or to spend more time with my partner. And this, it applies to whether you're working for yourself, because sometimes you could work even more if you're working for yourself. And also if you're working for a company. Sometimes you can't just switch off, and you also bring that job stress back home. So with the regret of I wish I hadn't worked so hard, the thing is that when people are dying, they aren't thinking, I wish I'd worked more. Because the truth is, our time is limited. At times we may think we have unlimited time, because we don't always think, oh, one day I'm going to die. Yes, we are all going to die one day, but it's not a daily thought that we have. So we can often take our time for granted and use a great deal of our time to work. You know, the thing is, we can spend so much time at work, and then you also work overtime and you work into the evenings or you work on weekends. But can we do things a bit differently? Can we strive for a work-life balance? Yes, realistically, bills have to be paid, and we're not saying don't have an income, but we are saying try to find that balance. I know many people who don't even take their lunch break. They sit at their desks and eat. Have that break. You deserve to have that break. Get away from your desk. See the world a bit. Go outside for a little walk during your break. Because when you pass away and your employer needs to find somebody else to replace you, they will. But in your family, you aren't replaceable. The third regret was, I wish I'd had the courage to express myself. Now, many people, they suppress their emotions. They don't tell people how they really feel. They can be really upset, but they would avoid conflict at all costs. But what it does is it eats the person up inside, and they may play out the scenarios in their mind of how they could address the situation with the person, but they don't actually do that in reality. You are important and your feelings are valid, and you should let people know how they've affected you. You shouldn't suppress your feelings. Upset you. If somebody has spoken to you in a way that is not aligned to how you treat other people, then let them know. Sometimes people may be doing things that are wrong and they may not even be aware of it. So have the courage to express your feelings. Number 3 is, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Now, often people may feel that somebody has said something that's really evil to them, or they've been in a situation where they've been very upset because of somebody's actions. But instead of telling the person, they suppress their feelings because they want to avoid conflict at all costs. They don't want to have that difficult conversation. They rather just let those feelings of resentment and anger fester than actually have an open conversation with the person. That person may not even know that you're upset. They may not even know that what they've done is wrong. They may not think that it's wrong. And yes, some people do horrible things and they like to do horrible things, but the majority of people are actually accountable. So have that conversation. When people hurt you, when they've wronged you in some way, have that difficult conversation with them. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. So when these people were close to their last days, they wished that they had stayed in touch with their friends. But by this point, they were in such poor health that they couldn't really even make that connection to their friends because their health was failing them. They couldn't really get in touch with their friends. And they regretted that. They regretted not consistently having their friends in their lives and letting go of solid friendships. Because life happens and you can get so busy with your life and your own world and everything that's happening to you or to your immediate family that you can put friends behind. You can say, I'll contact my friend in a month's time, and a month will fly by and you'll just delay it even further. But good friends deserve to have a space in your life, and not only when you feel like you are dying and towards the end of life, but throughout your life. Yes, some friendships don't last the course, but the friends that do, the friends that put in effort, the friends that have been there for you, maintain those friendships and let those friendships be a two-way relationship. Your friend puts in the effort, you also need to put in the effort. Because everything in life requires energy. Everything in life requires a give and take. And friends add so much warmth, joy, laughter to your life. The right friends, the friends that lift you up when you're having a really crappy day, the friends who you can cry with and laugh with. Life has so many happy moments, and friends add to so many of those happy moments. So keep your friends close. Don't forget about them. Number 5, the regret was, I wish I had let myself be happier. Now, when I think about this, we all differ. What makes me happy is I love reading. I love spending time with loved ones. What makes you happy may be different. You may love playing golf. You may love cooking. Those are things that really make you happy. But how often do we tap into the things that make us really happy? How often do we create space and time to really enjoy the things that make us happen? Are we doing it on a daily basis, or are we postponing our happiness? We may love traveling, but we'll say to ourselves, yes, I know that traveling makes me so happy, but I'm going to do this when I retire. I'm going to do this when I'm 60 or 70. You may not get to be 60 or 70. That's the reality of life. Things can happen to you beforehand. You may not have great health. If you are able to do the things sooner rather than later, do so. Even if you can do mini holidays here and there, because we do know it's costly. But you can plan accordingly. Don't delay your happiness. I think that this is something that we are all guilty of. I haven't been to the movies in ages. I need to actually go and watch a movie. I've been putting it off. And I love going to the cinema. But I've just been delaying it. I actually haven't been to the cinema in years. Simple things, not great things. It doesn't have to be something great that you've put off. It can be really simple things that you've put off for yourself. Maybe you deserve a massage and it makes you really happy, but you just haven't taken the time to schedule that massage. Maybe you love meeting up with a certain friend, but months have passed and you just haven't met up yet. So prioritize your happiness, because if you don't prioritize your happiness for yourself, nobody else will, and nobody else will do it in the way that you need it to be done. Take care of yourself. The analogy in the plane where everyone's trying to put their mask on and they say, please put yours on first before you can help anyone else. The same thing applies to your happiness. Make sure that you feel happy with yourself and are doing the things that make you happy, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to pursue the things that interest you, that excite you, that really bring you the ultimate joy. Now, don't do anything destructive. We're not saying that at all. We're saying do the things that help you grow as a person. If you want to learn a skill and you've been wanting to learn Spanish for years, but you've always just left it, and you'd always say, I'll get to this one day. Oh, I'm too busy right now. I'll get to it. And then time just passes, years go by, and you still haven't learned a word of Spanish. So schedule time to create that joy for yourself. The reality is that with every day that passes, we are all a day closer to the day that we actually die. And that's a really sobering thought. So while we are here, while we are alive, and while we have the ability to limit the regrets that we have, to pursue the dreams that we want, to connect with the people that we love, to be in the moment and to not only reflect on the past or look to the future. We should create joy, be mindful, be grateful, and know that one day we won't be here. One day our lives will no longer exist. We will be remembered by our loved ones. And what will they remember us for? Will they think of us as people that lived our lives according to what we wanted? Will they remember us by people that pursued their dreams, that took the time and effort to connect with those that they loved? Right now, as you reflect on your life, if you only had a few months left to live, would you still be living your life the way that you're living now? How would you do things differently? What do you want in your life right now that you don't have? And how can you go about getting those things? We always think that we have forever, but the reality is that we will all die someday. And that's not to make anyone scared, but it's to really understand that sometimes we just go with the flow of getting up, doing things, sleeping, getting up, doing things, and not consciously thinking, is this what I want for my life? Does this give me the happiness that I desire and that I deserve? We just operate from a mode of we're just getting on with things instead of this is the life that I actually have created for myself because this is what I want for myself. This is how I can be the best version of myself. And this is how I can actually feel fulfilled instead of always operating from a place of this is not what I want for my life. The great thing is you have the power to change it. You really do. So if you want to change things in your life, know that you can. You absolutely can. But think carefully about what you want and then think about how you're going to get there. Because we all deserve to have our joy. And our joy may change from person to person, our understanding of what joy is. But we all deserve it. So let's not wait until our dying moments to think about how we could have changed things for ourselves. In the now, let's work towards making those changes and embracing the things that make us truly happy. As always, keep well.